Do we share information we collect with any third parties? We may share information that is collected from you or your child as follows. Authorized third-party vendors. We may share information with our third-party vendors to help us evaluate, develop, and improve the services, including performing usage analytics and data processing. PBS member stations. In some circumstances, we may share information with your local PBS member stations. Business transfers. We may share information in connection with a substantial business transaction, such as sale of the services, a merger, consolidation, asset sale, or in the unlikely event of bankruptcy. Legal purposes. We do not transfer self-information to third parties, but we may disclose information to respond to subpoenas, court orders, law enforcement requests, legal claims or government inquiries, and to protect and defend the rights, interests, property, safety, and security of PBS users or the public. With your consent, we otherwise may share your child's information with your consent. How do we collect information? We may use JavaScript, cookies, web beacons, local shared objects, other similar technologies to collect information about your child's use of the services. Local shared objects, sometimes referred to as Adobe Flash cookies, are downloaded to a computer or mobile device by the Adobe Flash Media Player, Analytics, and to improve our services. For example, we use these technologies to help us recognize your child's browser as a previous user and save any preferences that may have been set. To help us customize the content of what your child uses the services. To provide your child with content customized to your interest. To understand the parents' read email messages and click on links contained within those messages, so that we can deliver relevant content and offers. And to help measure, research the effectiveness of our services, we may allow third parties to place and read their own cookies, web beacons, and similar technologies to collect information through the services, including to help us with traffic measurement, research, and analytics. We permit these third parties only to collect cookie information and similar identifiers that do not, on their own, directly identify you or your child. You may be able to refuse or disable cookies by adjusting your web browser settings. Because each web browser is different, please consult the instructions provided by your web browser, typically in the help section. Please note that you may need to take additional steps to refuse or disable local shared objects and similar technologies. For example, local shared objects may be controlled through the instructions on Adobe Setting Manager page. If you refuse, disable, or delete these technologies, some of the functionality of our services may no longer be available to you or your child. Note regarding do not track signals and similar mechanisms. Some web browsers threaten the do not track signals to websites because of differences in how web browsers incorporate and activate this feature. It is not always clear whether users intend for these signals to be transmitted, or whether they even are aware of them. We currently do not take action in response to these signals. Does PBS aggregate information? If so, what does PBS do with aggregated information? We may aggregate your child's information with information about other users in a way that does not directly identify you or your child. We also may share gated or de-identified information with third parties, including to help us develop, analyze, and improve content services. It is possible that the third parties may use this aggregated or de-identified information to develop their own products and service offerings. Information regarding parental consent, access, and deletion. As PBS Kids does not collect personal information, we are not able to identify your child and therefore not access, correction, deletion, or portability requests. If PBS Kids ever does in the future collect, use, or disclose personal information from your child, we will endeavor to obtain a parent or legal guardian's consent before doing so or otherwise comply with law. We will not keep this personal information for longer than necessary. Parents or legal guardians may also contact us to ask if we have collected their child's personal account information to review that information, if any, and request that PBS Kids stop collecting this information and have it deleted. Such requests are subject to PBS Kids verifying to your satisfaction that the requester is in fact the child's parent or legal guardian. How do we protect information we collect? We are committed to protecting your and your child's information. We have adopted reasonable technical, administrative, and physical procedures to help protect this information from loss, misuse, and alteration, including encryption as appropriate. Please note that no data transmission or storage can be guaranteed to be 100% secure. We want you to feel confident using the services, but we cannot ensure or warrant the security of any information you transmit or your child transmits to us. Notice for international users, the services are designed for and targeted to United States audiences and are governed by and operated in accordance with the laws of the United States. We make no representation that the services are operated in accordance with the laws or regulations of any other nations. Information collected through the services may be stored and priced in the United States or any other country in which we or our service providers maintain facilities. Our service providers may transfer information that we collect about you, including personal information, across borders and from your country or jurisdiction to other countries or jurisdictions, some of which may not have the same data protection laws as your jurisdiction. By using the services and providing us with information directly or indirectly, you consent to the transfer of information to the United States or to any other country in which our service providers maintain facilities for processing by us in accordance with this privacy policy. Can PBS make changes to this privacy policy? Will I be notified? We may revise this privacy policy, for example, to reflect change in the law, our practices, or the features of the services. We'll notify you before we make any material changes and give you the opportunity to review the revised policy before you choose to continue using our services. Non-material changes will be effective immediately upon posting. However, we will always note the effective date of such changes at the top of this privacy policy. Please periodically review this privacy policy so that you're up to date on our most current policies and practices. Do you have any questions about this privacy policy? If so, please contact us at Public Broadcasting Service, 1225 Escort Street, Arlington, the 20,100 tons, 700-3739-5127. Kids at PBS.org.